Welcome back to RBD Block Challenge. I'm Cindy Cloward, and today we are working on block number 2. It's designed by Jill Finley, and it's called Fanfare. I'm going to show you the block in batiks and also in our confetti cottons solids. There's so many little pieces, and it's bright and colorful, and it's easier than you think to make. First thing you need to do is download the pattern from the Riley Blake Designs website. It gives you all the instructions to make this block. Again, I'm making my block out of batiks, but whatever you're sewing with, we're glad you're sewing with us. So the first thing you need to do, it tells you in the pattern, is grab your B squares, and then it tells you D squares. Now you are just gonna make lots and lots of half square triangles. Now this method, for this particular pattern, you're going to make your half square triangles by marking your square corner to corner. Or if you have got a Seam So Easy guide, you can skip that step, but just to show you real quick, we're just going to mark our squares corner to corner, and that is going to be your sew guide. You're not going to sew stitch on that. You're going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side to make 2 half square triangles. So we are going to grab all the B squares with the F, the H, and the E, and we're just going to make loads and loads of half square triangles. So if you got a Seam So Easy guide, I'm going to pop my glasses on. You line up the side of your 1/4 inch presser foot, and then you line up this bottom point, and you're going to sew on the side. Just one after another. Okay, let's bring them back here. Let me find my little clippers. I'm just showing you a few at a time. You can do them all at once. Now you're going to trim right down the center. If you've drawn your line, your center marked line becomes your cut line. Okay, let's go press these open, press them to the dark side. So I kind of set my seams all at once. Okay. Oops. So these are all done. Now we'll take our little rotating mat. Now these are supposed to be squared up to 2 inches, and since I don't have a specific 2-inch square up ruler, I'm just going to use this little square up ruler right here. And how I do that is I see my 2-inch mark from here to here. I just kind of pull it in the corner, line that diagonal mark all along my diagonal seam, and I trim it up just like that two sides, and then I have to trim off my little dog ears. I'm going to repeat that on all of these half square triangles and then finish the rest of my half square triangle blocks. I'll meet you back here. Okay, that is our final little half square triangle. Let's lay out all of our pieces and we'll start assembling part of our block. So you take the C, that's in, makes a cross there in the middle. We're gonna grab our A's and then all of our half square triangles. Oops, we're gonna lay them out. So follow the diagram. The orange half square triangle goes right in the middle, just like that. And then the blue goes on top, facing each other. Now it's going to be so important that you have your half square seam allowance correct, because there's a lot of little pieces that if you start getting off, your block's going to be not the right size. So make sure that's super accurate. And then the very last square goes in the corner like this. And now we've got a 9 patch to assemble. So we have everything laid out. And so we don't get confused, we're gonna do a little section at a time. So that's gonna be a unit, that's gonna be a unit, that's gonna be a unit, and that's gonna be a unit. I have finished one. This is what it's gonna look like. So I don't confuse myself, I just kind of work on one section at a time. So actually, I'm going to pin so I know where I'm starting, the side I'm starting, because there's a lot of little pieces. It's going to be super easy to get them confused. And I'm going to put them on top of each other. That's the order I'm sewing them. Okay, bring it back, just like you do with your 9 patches. Make sure they are in the right position. Let's flip those over. Pin again, and I don't clip my threads on my first row. I just leave those threads in place. They keep me organized. Okay, open them up. Got to finish our 9 patch. Nesting our seams. I tend to do one row one way and then just flip them on the other row. And I don't really press at this point. Okay, our little 9 patch is finished. It should measure 5 inches squared. I'm gonna give it a little spritz. Okay, so I finished this unit. They call it a quadrant in the pattern. It's kind of a 9 patch, so I'm gonna finish these other 3 quadrants and I'll meet you back here to finish the quilt block. All right, now we're ready to finish our quilt block. In fact, I always just flip over. Well, let's start here. A little centerpiece. Flip right sides together. I'm going to pin the top where I'm stitching to keep me focused on where I'm supposed to be sewing. Okay, let's bring it back. Let's sew that on. Give it a pin at top. This little skinny, almost like a little sashing in between these quadrants. Let's just give it a little pin. Okay, let's bring it back here. We just have 2 more seams. So you're going to want to nest your seams for this final assembly. So those seem to want to go in like that. So we're going to make this center square. The seams go out. Last seam while we're here. Okay, let's go sew. Okay, let's give our block a good press. Setting my seams, now I'm going to open it up. Outside's ready to go. Okay, let's bring it back, square it up. Get our 10.5 inch. Okay, looks like we do have a little trimming to do, but I don't want to trim off any of my points. You got to be so careful with this. kind of line this up. That's a little wonky right there, and I might have to recheck that. I'm just trimming that up there. And the rest, let me take a look at that one. Just a little trim right there. And the Fanfare quilt block is finished. I can't wait to see what Jill Finley does with her own quilt block. We're so glad you're here. We hope you're sewing along as you're following along with us. Join us next time for the next quilt block, block number 3, threaded by Christopher Thompson.